Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And this one is underway here on EA Sports. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Here come the Cardinals, and it is Kyler Murray from Oklahoma who leads them out.
Drafted with the idea that he'd be one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL when he put it all together. We've been seeing that progress throughout his career. This guy's legs, we knew they were phenomenal. Arm, top-notch. But now we're seeing his mind come into the game. Reed's defense is better and better each and every week, and is showing patience as a passer as well. Not as eager to exit the pocket, finding guys downfield for bigger plays.
First play and a first pass from Murray. That's complete to Michael Wilson. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4. Murray now. Finding his target, it's Trey McBride. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. It'll be an Arizona first down on a gain of 17.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
Here's Murray from midfield. He'll find his rookie wideout from Ohio State here. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Murray fighting, lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that sixth sense, doesn't he?
He really does, and I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand this is the amount you have, make sure the ball's gone. Didn't happen in this case.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Following the fumble recovery, Smith. He'll find Metcalf. And not much happening there. He's taken down, but a late penalty flag in the backfield. Now, this looks like a roughing call. Well, they were setting up the screen, CD, a lot of free runners, and they got there late, and the penalty ensued.
Yeah, somehow it didn't get into their brains that it was a screen, right? Instead of pulling off and chasing the ball downfield, they kept going towards the quarterback and knocked him down way late. That draws the penalty flag each and every time.
On the counter, it's Walker. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Now 2nd and 5. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd down, here's Walker. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive. Walker now on 1st and 10. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now 2nd and 9. Throwing now is Geno. This complete to Lockett. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And 3rd and 1 now. Really been an ideal start for them. They get the turnover on the opening possession. Now here they are moving the ball straight down the field on their first drive.
And that feels good, but you know on their side of the field all they're thinking is finish this drive off because they took it away, right? So now you've got them back on their heels a little bit. Now go down and put a touchdown on them. Look out. You've won the mental battle early in the game, and that may carry over for you.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Defense was expecting run, and they're dealt a pass of over 15 yards.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want it to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
First and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. Here's Walker. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Kenneth Walker, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. And that caps off what was really a balanced opening drive for them, Charles. They work in the rushing game and the aerial attack, and they end it with a touchdown.
Strong in so many ways, wasn't it, partner? Their ability to throw it and run it and accomplish their goal, they've got to like the way that they started this ball game.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it was Kenneth Walker finishing things off with a touchdown run. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So the Cardinals offense back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. Catch made right side by Wilson. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's 2nd down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
A short one here, caught by McBride. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this 1st quarter. They run the option here on 1st and 10. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Here's Murray. Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. First carry for James Conner to the 27-yard line.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27. And now Murray's going to set up the throw. There's a short one caught by Ryman. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
On 3rd down, it's Conner. Well, this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Here's Chad Ryland now on for the field goal. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Ryland now following the touchdown, back out to kick it away. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their 2nd drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard to the 27.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Now Smith. Out to the right, he gets it to Lockett. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Smith. Throw out wide to Walker. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the 1st. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Here comes Dortch on the return. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
To throw is Murray. And that is incomplete.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Throwing now is Murray. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Cardinals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Now Murray. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Draymond Jones just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Well, certainly not an ideal first quarter for him. Remember, he lost the fumble earlier, and here he ends up on the ground with a sack.
And sometimes what happens when you make a mistake early, you get too cautious going forward. Just cover up the football and take care of it and be able to cut it loose. Otherwise, your offense is going to stall.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Murray under pressure again, and down he goes again. Ernest Jones, the linebacker, with a sack. He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Back in Arizona, 2nd quarter action. It's the Cardinals in possession. Now that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot. 3rd and long. They'll look to throw. That is caught. And now the rookie's free. Touchdown, Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr., 69 yards. And the Cardinals have taken the lead. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play, and just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
Chad Ryland now to add the PAT. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. That time a 6-play drive. And it winds up in a touchdown for Arizona. Back out is the kicker, Ryland, and he'll send this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10. Just shy of the 30. Hands it to Walker to begin the series. And he's got some space here. Breaks through the contact. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 53 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all 11 on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
When you run into slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. To the right side, this is Walker. Give him a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Throwing is Smith. He finds Smith and Jigba. So no gain on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Cardinals offense and Marvin Harrison Jr. headed onto the field. And seemingly every time they've looked his way in this first half, it has resulted in a big play, as borne out by the numbers. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down in those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something, because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
There's a short one caught by Ryman. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Murray a give. This is Connor. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
2nd and 9. Shotgun now for Murray. A short one here, caught by McBride. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there, because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
Now a handoff coming left, Connor. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field. And the ball moved up here now to 2nd and 7 following the penalty. Murray going to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 35. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
That pass completed to Dortch. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
To throw, it's Murray. Able to get this one to McBride. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big 3rd down play.
Here's Murray. Steps away to his left. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Well, I could spin this negatively as he just got back to the line of scrimmage. But when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
Here's Chad Ryland now on for the field goal. From the left hash, this from 34. And this one is right through. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
So after the field goal, Ryland back out as he'll send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 27. Geno now to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Walker. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
2nd and a couple. They'll fake it. Now Smith. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Every guy that plays this game has plenty of people around him that are concerned for his health and well-being. He had no regard for his body on that catch at all, did he?
Middle of the field, diving to grab it? No, he didn't. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. Oh, some strong running. And he's got this down to the 35. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last two possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Off of play action, here's Smith. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. Back of the end zone, could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Up the middle, here's Walker. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now Geno. It's caught. Lockett. That he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down.
If this were baseball, we'd call this small ball. Instead of pushing it downfield, they throw a short pass trying to pick up the first down, but the defense rallies to the football and stops him short, bringing up a 4th down.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. Now maybe a free play here for Smith. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
On the give, here's Charbonnet. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Straight ahead, Walker. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. 3rd and 5. Here's Smith. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Pharaoh Brown from 8 yards out. And the Seahawks are an extra point away from taking the lead.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
Now Myers for the extra point. And this puts him on top by a penny. It's 14-13. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. after the touchdown. Here's Myers to boot it away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Murray now. A short one here, caught by McBride. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. 2nd down and a yard. Here's Murray from midfield. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Here's Murray. And the pressure gets to him again. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. D. Williams deep for Seattle. Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the 2nd half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of 6s back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. Throwing now is Geno. There's the stiff arm. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the 1st half of play. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Here's Smith. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they've had success getting the ball to him out of the backfield, but this time they had a man right on him. He was able to break that play up before he could get started.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. He'll find Metcalf. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 33. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And with just 4 seconds left in this 1st half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. Myers' kick is good, and that'll move their lead up to 4 now. So a big play before the end of the half to get them into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. 1 second, all that remains. A final shot before half for Murray. His throw incomplete. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
It was a strong first half for the former Spartan, Kenneth Walker. He wound up finding the end zone on a touchdown run to help give his guys the advantage here at the break.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Seahawks offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And you look at his numbers as a pass catcher in this one. They've lined him up in different spots, shifted him around, and made him a real weapon in the passing game. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Third quarter begins with a run by Walker. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
They'll motion the tight end across the formation. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sack. I'm sure a lot of time was spent in the locker room, Charles, and talking with his defense about setting a tone here in the 3rd quarter when you're down on the scoreboard. A sack like that, maybe that can get them going.
Yeah, you have to believe exactly what you just said, that they got together and said, let's be some change agents here. Let's go ahead and turn things around. Let's be the force that gets us going here in the second half and puts us in a position to find a way to win the game.
And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Cardinals offense now ready to get their first opportunity here in the second half. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10. They run behind center with Connor. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with Connor. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. A good chunk on the ground on the keeper, 17 yards, first down. It looked like almost a miscommunication defensively because once he decided to keep it, he had pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, it became a question of, wait a minute, who's got the quarterback? And when you talk about miscommunication, it's supposed to be called assignment football on the defensive side of the ball. But the assignment gets mixed up. That's the end result.
Down to the 42, 2nd down.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. Connor going to get it again on 2nd down. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Murray now to throw. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. The Seahawks again now ready to take over on offense. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. On play action, they'll throw. Catch is made by Metcalf. And he's tackled at the 38, but they doubled their yardage. The play started at the 19, and they gained 19.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Smith. That completes it again to Metcalf. From the 46, here's 2nd down and 3. Now it's Smith off the bootleg. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
That's the third time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. A gear for Walker running right. He'll get this down to the 38.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
From the 38 now, here comes 2nd and 8. Play action. It's Smith. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 4 catches now on this drive alone. They can't stop him. It's another first down.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit because at this point, it can't be a surprise to anyone in the building who's going to get the ball. They just keep feeding him over and over, and he just keeps on delivering.
Back to throw, Smith. Now wasted time going right back to DK Metcalf. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Now to the ground. Here's Walker. There's a nice move. And the Seahawks are going to have a 1st and goal forthcoming as he takes this down to about the 5-yard line.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Back to Walker on 1st down. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you're
without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Out of the gun, Smith. Flush to his right. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Geno Smith, a 3-yard touchdown run as his guys are able to extend their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. With the football back in the hands of the Arizona Cardinals. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4. Throwing now is Murray. That pass completed to Dortch. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Now Murray. He'll dump this one off to Connor. And he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain on the play. And that will bring up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. And a penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward. So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. They'll fake it to Connor. Now Murray. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle 3rd. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it. An in route going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Again, they'll throw with Murray. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there because, to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 38. Murray going to throw. And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's 2nd down. To throw is Murray. That's complete to McBride. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. A give running right is Connor. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, it's almost football 101 that you preach to your safeties. Don't let anyone get behind you. You're the last line of defense. But he didn't let the play come to him. He went to the play. How about that read and recognition and finishing off that one behind the line of scrimmage?
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So they take the flag and the yardage that comes with it. And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty. They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back to the desert. We're in Glendale. It's Cardinal football, but they trail here as we get set to bring you the 4th and final quarter. Pass to the right, and he's got McBride. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Here's Murray. Flushed out right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that'll make this an 8-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Ryland now following the touchdown, back out to kick it away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The visitors' offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the 4th quarter. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Their lead back down to 1 score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10. 85 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Here's 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Smith. Throw out wide to Walker. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Smith now to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here, down late, tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
In motion goes the tight end. Now Gino. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They'll give it up to the big man Walker. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. And he missed it. It's no good. And this will stay a 1-score game as the lead holds at 8. That one hurts a bit. That was a golden opportunity to possibly put this one on ice, but he comes up empty.
And how big of a miss might that turn out to be? Stay tuned. There's still time left on the clock. This could be critical.
Still a 1-score game. Had he hit that, it would have been 2 scores. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And still just down 1 score. We'll see how big of a role that missed field goal plays, because it, of course, could have pushed this to a 2-possession deficit for them.
Whenever I see an in-route dropped, as we just saw on that play, I'm always thinking that in the back of their mind, they're worried about what's coming at them because they're going towards traffic on that route as opposed to being away from it and maybe having a little bit more space.
Shotgun now from Murray. Escaping the pressure right. And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a 1st down.
If they get a game-changing score on this drive, it's going to be because of plays like that. That run was pure heart. Took it himself, found a way to reset the downs, and advance the ball.
To throw, it's Murray. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Multiple rushers break through to drop him for the 7th time this game.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Here's Murray. Buying time to his, and he's going to go down again. This is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time multiple guys get to it. That time finally a measure of revenge as they get him down behind the line.
It almost felt like relief, didn't it? Because with the success he's had throughout this game, you'd almost expect him to get free and pick up 10 to 15 every time he takes off. Not in that case. That has to feel good for the defense.
Well, that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot. 3rd and long. Back to throw. And this will be swung out here for counter. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The visitors' offense and Geno Smith headed back out for this next possession. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
An ideal spot here to get a first down and try to run some more clock, and this is second and less than a yard. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Walker now on 1st and 10, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside, but he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 11. Here's Smith. He'll find Metcalf. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
From the 50, it's Smith. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? Just got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. He's got it at the 15. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 36 yards on the play.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? A guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Hand off here to Walker. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 95 yards rushing now as he's done it on 22 carries.
And that's the type of run that they're looking for because they'll need to continue to rely on him to move the sticks in this tight game in order to preserve this lead.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Walker will take this into the end zone for a Seahawk touchdown. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard charging run, give it right back to him and let him cap things off.
Now Myers for the extra point. And the lead is up to 15 now. That time a 9-play drive.
And it was Ken Walker finishing things off with a touchdown run.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Able to get this one to McBride.
At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Now 2nd down and a few inches.
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
And now a tough spot here. This is 3rd and 10.
From the gun, Murray. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a 1st down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
Here we go. This is 4th down.
Now Murray's got to have this one.
He's got his target. That's complete.
The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
A 2 timeouts still remaining, but scoring quickly, a must. It's 1st and 10.
Murray now to throw.
On the move past the 40.
And finally taken down at the 35-yard line.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Here's 1st and 10.
Now Murray again.
He'll get this to Connor underneath.
You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's 2nd down.
Out of the gun, here's Murray.
Got his man, it's Dortch.
Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their 2nd, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. Murray going to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's McBride. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Here's 2nd and a yard. Murray to air it out again. Goes right back to McBride.
The Cardinals forced to burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
Now 1st and goal.
Murray now.
That's to the pylon and incomplete.
And now defensively in the 2-minute drill, the big key to me, make sure you understand your assignments, and anytime you get a chance to tackle someone in bounds, get them on the ground.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. Throwing now is Murray. This is caught. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. And we've got movement by one of the big boys up front for Arizona. Flag comes in. Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
3rd and goal from the 6. Murray now running right on the option.
So the victory here for Seattle, and it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire 2nd half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long and sign off from the desert.